Okay.
I'm first going to say that I'm really excited to have you share with my Facebook group. My Facebook group is made up of practitioners from all over the world who are looking to serve more people,
Awesome.
earn more money, and work less hours. And Dr. Laura, I'm thrilled to have you here, who has been absolutely one of my top clients to work with. So Laura, just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you are, all of it. Give us a story.
Yeah, so I am a chiropractor with Healing Hands of Manahawkin. So we are a chiropractic office at the Jersey Shore, where which actually gives us a really interesting mix of people that we take care of and serve, because some people are with us for 2 months for the summer and then they disappear. And there are a lot of people who live here year round. And then we practice CBP, which is a little bit more of an intense technique in terms of what you need in the size of the practice, the amount of equipment, the amount of team it takes to run. So yeah, and I've been in this practice for 6 years, but I've been in practice total for 5 years. And Dr. Nicole, who I work with, has been in practice for 22 years. So we've been around for a little while now.
Awesome. And Dr. Nicole's been a really amazing client too. And so why did you guys hire me? Why did you want to get involved with staffless practice?
Absolutely. So like I said, because we're a CBP office and it just takes so much manpower, we felt like we had, not even that we necessarily wanted to get rid of team, but we had a lot of talent that was getting wasted in different parts of the office, specifically at the front desk, that they would get stuck up there, sort of like vacuumed away. And we had the tools and the resources to make our days run smoothly. Like we should have had enough people, we should have had more than enough, but often they were stuck on the phone or things were falling between the cracks. So that was the biggest thing that we came to you for.
What would they be stuck on the phone doing? Like what was a typical, what would you see happening?
Rescheduling things, or if a new practice member called, that phone call could take 10 minutes. And, you know, like 10 minutes is really quite a long time to lose a person. And it was even that the phone was ringing all the time. Marketers were calling, just different people, patients or practice members looking, like I said, to move an appointment 15 minutes.
Right.
All sorts of things all day long.
You know, if I say to people all the time, staffless practice isn't for people who only want to not have staff. It's for practices who, if you do have staff, you want to see them doing things more efficiently and more effectively. Yeah. And you, along with a few other practices, have 5, 6, 7 amazing, brilliant people on your team. And it was just a matter of saying, you go there, you go there, and you go there, and you each play in your playground and come together for play dates when it's appropriate, right? And the amount of humility you bring to the table to be able to work with you with such ease, and the amount of hunger you have to make things work, to seek success. Those are the two pieces, the willingness and the hunger. And Dr. Laura, working with you has been so incredible because you've got such a natural blend of those two. So I've enjoyed it just as much. Yeah, absolutely. So me and Dr. Nicole we have Dr. Laura parties and we're like, she's so awesome at this and she's so awesome at that. So when you started working with me as a strategist or as one of my one-on-one clients, did you have any reservations? Was anything like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be a good thing?
Yes. So like I said, I've been in practice for about 5 years before I started. And I was like drilled into my head, taught over and over and over again, that if you don't answer the phone when somebody is looking for you, they're never going to come to you. They're just going to keep calling and calling until somebody picks up the phone, like go down the list on Google. Jodi, we have more new practice members now than we ever had when we had somebody sitting on the phone or somebody sitting like stuck in that chair at the front. And we've got fewer team members that it takes to control all of that. So that's been great.
So what's the difference between the quality of people who come in not like we can measure how quality driven one of our practice members are, but the people who come in who are truly searching for who you are and what you do, as opposed to someone who's just going down the list. How does that change your experience as a doctor?
It's, well, first of all, I think we make it because the way that you've gotten us to set things up, because they're really scheduling themselves from the very beginning, from their first new practice member appointment. When we tell them it's going to be easy and they're going to have control, they believe us. So there's a lot less, like, convincing is not even the right word, but like trying to get people to say, like, look, we're going to make this process as smooth as possible for you. They believe us because that's what their experience was from the very beginning. Now, in terms of like that going down the list versus them coming into the office, I don't really know where that difference has been, but everybody who's been coming in has been really good, unless they're just here for the summer and then they're only here for 2 days and they
Right,
disappear
because
on
you
us
guys,
later.
they live like in like the ideal summer spot. Dr. Nicole, I don't know if you are Dr. Laura, but Dr. Nicole's a surfer, and literally she can jump in her car and be at the beach in like what, 5 minutes. So
About that, yeah.
it's very cool. So what would you say what's your favorite part of what we've done? Like, what's your biggest tool that you've gained from working with me?
I really love making sure that practice members are responsible for their health. And by taking away a lot of the hand holding is really what we got rid of with staffless practice. So by taking away having somebody there to basically reassure them every 7 seconds that about the thoughts in their head, they're learning how to take responsibility for their schedule. I made a commitment. This is when I have to be here. I made a commitment to this and to that. And I see it showing up with when we give them things to do at home, they're doing it because they made a commitment. There's kind of this full follow through on responsibility, which I
I
really like.
totally get that. And you know what? I don't think that I've ever put words to that. There's something, so I actually did a re-entry into care visit today with a practice member who hasn't been in like 4 years since I haven't had
Mhm.
staff. So she came in today and she's like, it's so different in here because there's nobody between me and her. She walks in,
Yeah.
she sees me, I greet her. And there's also something to be said about like, she helps herself to the fridge and grabs a seltzer. She goes into the snack
Mhm.
cabinet, grabs a snack. She goes and grabs her paper. She wipes down her table when she's done with her adjustment. There's a participation that happens when there's not somebody doing the stuff that really doesn't need a person to be doing. It's like they're a
Yeah.
member of a club as a practice, truly a practice member. I get what you're saying. I think that that's really powerful. So here's my final question to you, because this comes up. There are people who have reservations. One of the things that I really don't want is I don't want to work with a new client who's just going to have my stuff sitting on their computer. I want to work with people who are going to dive in deep, just like you have, where you're like, what's next? Bring it to me. What's next? What's next? So
Mhm.
what would you say to people who feel like they have time, energy, resources, and space to really create change in their practice with Staffless Practice Academy?
I think that the first thing they need to be clear about is why they want the staffless practice and what their vision is in the practice. And the clearer we got on that on our side, the easier it was for you to help us find the strategies to implement that worked here. From some of the group Q&As, I know that what works for us doesn't work for all of your clients. And what you've been able to do is help us find for our vision what that road is going to be,
I love
which is really great.
Yeah. So please understand, we have a coaching program that's a 12-week coaching program where people can
Mhm.
hire me, work with me for a few months, really get their ducks in a row, and then be on their way. And then we have
Mhm.
one-on-one strategy work with it, which is what I've been doing with Dr. Laura. It's not so much a coaching program. It's more of a, you've got me in your back pocket and we're going to go all the way with this thing. And we shape shifted your practice, and you guys are crushing it. Like, you have set the bar and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
It's
welcome.
working really beautifully. And we're
I
really happy.
and I'm so happy that like it wasn't fun learning the lessons, but I learned the lessons on it. I created the product of those lessons, and now I can share them with people like you. And the bottom line is you're able to give even more great care, which is what the world needs yesterday. So thanks, Dr. Laura. I appreciate your time today, and I just think you're the rock star of all rock stars.
Thank you. You too, Jen.